Yoo-hoo, and thanks for tuning in to another awful movie review.
Hey, that reminds me, did I bring my hot dog buns?
Let's be honest with ourselves here. People keep saying that movies like Citizen Kane, Fight Club, The Dark Knight will forever be remembered as phenomenal classics which will transcend time. But seriously, none of those are nearly as good or as classic as this great piece of cinema that is Horror at Party Beach.
Absolutely no luck.
During the 1960s, there was this type of film called the beach party genre, which focused on, well, beach parties.
They're all the same, so I'm not really missing anything.
Then some directors decided to get even more specific when it came to subgenres, as they decided to mix in some horror into these party films. And I hate to break it to you, but they're all crap. In fact, Horror at Beach Party, which is in many means an awful movie, is probably the most famous of the bunch, and I think some people remember it just because it was featured on Mystery Science Theater 3000. Otherwise, it would have been forgotten just like all the others.
Look, I don't think that's any of your business.
But just before we get going, if there's a bad movie you'd like me to review, just leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to drop a like on this video, subscribe, let me know your thoughts and feelings on Horror at Party Beach. This film tries to concentrate everything that's going to appeal to the teen and young adult movie market of the time. Cool kids riding hot rod cars and motorcycles, rock music, beach parties, lots of trendy dances, and love interests.
We're not a bunch of kids anymore.
But the unsuspecting kids are ambushed by a group of sea creatures, which look like low-budget creatures from the Black Lagoon with their mouths filled with hot dogs. These goofy-looking monsters butcher the kids one by one, leaving a trail of chocolate syrup everywhere they go. They just don't have an ounce of decency, do they?
What's with you?
As stupid and schlocky as these monsters look, they did do me a favor by killing off some extremely disposable and annoying characters, because it would have been insufferable if they had lived any longer. The script is pretty predictable. It's full of people that are oh so going to get killed. But what made those monsters come to life anyways?
A floating pig.
The what?
Well, some people had the great idea of dumping toxic wastes into the sea. Yeah, in a horror movie, that kind of stuff just never ends well. In fact, the situation is so serious and so out of control that the police decide to do nothing about it. Really, they don't. Weeks and weeks pass as the creatures killing people make national headlines, and the local authorities couldn't even come up with anything to protect the people. I don't know, like maybe set up a strict curfew or send in the military to shoot down these ungodly monsters. But in Horror at Party Beach, the cops are nowhere to be found until a good hour into the film.
Nothing is solved in a few hours. This will require a lot of research.
Our lead character is a young scientist who just witnessed his ex-girlfriend being killed by one of those monsters. He doesn't take very long to hook up with another love interest, and what better place to take a girl out on a date than on the very same beach where your ex was sliced to pieces by a creature that is still at large.
Pretty dead tonight, huh, Ron?
Yeah, ever since Tina got killed, like, no action around here.
Oh yeah, that hag really ruined the party by dying. She's such a killjoy. None of the characters here are remotely interesting.
I know it. I feel it.
The dialogue sounds like it was written by an ape drunk on a bottle of whiskey.
Do you believe that kissing is unhealthy?
I don't know. I've never been...
You've never been kissed?
No, I've never been sick.
But in a movie like this, it's not the main focus. It should be more about the music and or the horror. Well, first of all, let me tell you that this is not scary. It's about as terrifying as a trip to Disneyland. In fact, sometimes you can't even see what is going on because there's no lighting, so that's convenient. And second of all, the music sequences are appalling. As a musician myself, I just wanted to jump out of a window, because this band made some of the goofiest, most badly sung stuff I've heard in my life.
We are unwanted outcasts.
Just some of the song titles at the very beginning told me that I was in for one heck of a musical nightmare.
Oh, everybody do the zombie stomp. You slam your foot down with an awful bump.
If I was forced to listen to a playlist by those guys over and over, this would actually be torture. I would not be able to get through it. And these kids never stop. They just continue and continue. Like if one terrible song was not enough, we get a whole bunch of them. So, overall, I'll end this review by quoting Stephen King, who, after watching this movie, called this an abysmal little wet fart of a film. What an awful movie.